Hello, everybody, and welcome back to M&J Games. I am Michael, and today we are looking at a creation called Kingswood Hills, and is created by Fancy Coaster Cow, and is also created on Xbox. So this is one of the rare occasions where you get to watch our channel and see an Xbox creation. So thank you to Coaster or Fancy Coaster Cow for pre-recording this video and sending it to me so I can take a look and obviously record the audio for it and give this creator my thoughts and opinions. So I really appreciate that. So the link to this creator's channel is in the description below, so make sure and check that out. And I'm guessing this is a good park because we see all these guests are jumping up and down and excited as they're leaving the park. So first of all, this entrance is awesome. It's not the exact same, but it kind of gives me some Dorney Parks vibes a little bit, and I might be totally off on that, but this looks really good. It also, I think it was Shiftsy who you probably got some inspiration from there with the buildings for the entrance, but I think it's really good, and I love that first building as you enter, and right to the left we saw the wooden coaster, so that is just a fantastic viewpoint. And with this red building, that's a really good use there of using the kind of the wood pieces to kind of outline it, but that is a beautiful view as you enter the park, and it looks like you've custom supported it, so that is also really cool. So now as we head up the left side of the park, I don't know why it is, everybody seems to go to the left, and you did a good job with those wow, I'm forgetting the word right now, with the mulch and stuff, or using certain pieces to make it look like mulch. That's a really good job. It looks like you got a little transfer track with it as well, so I know you've done work with the backstage and everything as well, so I love to see that kind of detail. We got the custom sign, as this is called Bronco, and I believe there are 5 coasters in this park. I could be wrong, but let's go ahead and take a ride on Bronco, and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. So that was Bronco, and that was a fantastic coaster. Let me just say that off the bat. That was a phenomenal coaster, and I haven't been on a ton of wooden roller coasters in the past few years, but to me, I believe that's definitely a GCI. And sometimes I'll get the different manufacturers with wooden coasters a little bit off, but really, really good, strong layout, lots of ejector airtime, lots of nice kind of whippy turns, and really smooth. So I mean, if that's an indication of what we have left in the park with the coasters, I'm really excited about that because that was fantastically done. So really, really great job. And now it looks like we've come to the kids coaster. So you got a nice queue, looks like a nice station. Are those beams going across, or are those possibly cables? But either way, it looks cool as it kind of allows sun in. And we can talk while we're going on the kids coaster. But yeah, so far I really like this park, as it seems to be a pretty good size, and let's see how this coaster is. that was a good kids coaster. I mean, it did what it needed to, nothing more. Good outlining there, kind of on that building, using different building pieces and stuff. I think my favorite part about that kids coaster, and good job outlining the paths here with some custom curves and stuff. I always think that just adds to the look of it. I think my favorite part of that kids coaster was the view of that sundial as you go up the lift. So that's pretty cool. So there you got the chair swings cube. I mean, maybe one suggestion I have is with flat rides, making the queues a little bit shorter. Even for your normal rides, for normal coasters. I know in terms of realism, we want to make our queues long, but you can have like an extra segment added to it that you rope off that the guests actually don't use. Just because if it's longer queues, you got more guests waiting in line, it kind of makes the park look not as lived in. So that was well done, but once again, it's kind of like with the kids coaster. It's an impulse coaster. Not really much design differences you could do there, but I thought you themed it up well. I thought the station was really good, and having that extra like covering over the forward launch area was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, like I said, with queues, it's like we can only have 4,000 guests in the park, so you don't want every single guest be waiting in line. And by the way, I love that building we see right there. I took a screenshot of that to use as just like reference and inspiration, because I love how you did that building. I think it looks good. But this is one of the coasters I'm excited to ride. This B&M Invert right here looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Once again, another cool building using different window pieces and stuff like that, and building pieces. And so I wonder, can they walk fully inside, or are they just actually picking up their food like right inside? Because what I like to do is I like to put the food shops at the back of the building so that you don't see guests kind of waiting outside to get in the door. So this is called Fierce. So it's a B&M Invert, and I'll talk to you after the coaster. Absolutely love that B&M Invert. That was phenomenal. Couple things I think you could do with about half the supports on the lift hill that you have is, if you look at B&M Inverts, they've got them fairly spread out, or at least the ones that I'm thinking of. And that first drop was so well done, and same thing with that 0G roll. Now, because I've had to download this off YouTube, and I put it onto the PS4 to record audio through that instead of through my computer, just to kind of see how it works this time. The video is just naturally kind of lagging a little bit, because in SharePlay Factory it's not as fluid or as smooth when you're recording your voiceover. So the reason I say that is because it seemed like those last two corkscrews could have been smoothed out just a little bit more, but I don't know if that's just because of how the video is coming across the screen compared to how it really is and how it will look. once I watch it when it's been uploaded to YouTube and stuff. So that's just why I said that. And here we go. We got Wave Breaker, which looks like it's a water ride. So there's not really too much to it. So one of those log flumes. Yeah, so I heard... What was I watching? I was listening to something, and I'm going back to Kings Island in about a month. And, I'm just not a big fan of water rides. But somebody was saying that the water ride at Kings Island has legit airtime because it's almost like a double down. So I might have to check that one out. But we'll see. And possibly going to Holiday World on the way up to Kings Island. So really excited about that. I like how you put some rocks around it and stuff, and some rocks in the actual splashdown area, or whatever that actual piece is called, whether the in-game name or the technical name. But yeah, really good job. And then you've kind of themed up just this little bit around it, and you got some water dumping on the guests, so that's a pretty cool touch. So yeah, pretty straightforward water ride, not really much to it, but you do see this at a lot of parks, especially a lot of Six Flags parks. And there we have this sundial called Radius. That is a really, really well done job with that, and kind of, just the overall presence and view of it. So I like how you had a window there, but you had it closed, and you actually had what looked like custom shutters over it. Like maybe it's a weekday at the park, and the park's not as busy as it normally would be, so you close a couple of the stalls that you normally would have open on a Saturday or Sunday. And then you got this little chairlift going across, and honestly what I like about the chairlift is it doesn't actually span that much of the park, so you kind of keep it at a lower level. So I just think that gives a really good kind of visual for that aspect of it. And here we have Rewind, which is a Vekoma Boomerang. Okay. So I'll talk to y'all after the coaster. That was the always wonderful, everybody's favorite ride in the park, Vekoma Boomerang. But no, that was well done, and I do love these supports though that come with the Vekoma Boomerang, just in game. Just I think they look really good. They give a good sightline on the park, and you've done a really good job, kind of, with all your flat rides here and stuff. So now we have the entrance or one of the exit points or entry points for the transport ride, why am I forgetting what it's called? Skyway, whatever those things. Chairlift. Oh my gosh, I can't speak right now, but the chairlift going across the park. And as I said before, I like the fact that it doesn't elevate that high, which allows you to use that type of chairlift where it's almost more like a ski chairlift where your feet are dangling, right? Instead of the gondolas or kind of buckets that some of them can tend to have. So it looks good. Oh, churros. Oh my gosh, gotta love churros. I feel like that's the only thing that's inexpensive at Disney is buying churros. And here we've got a vintage car ride called Kingswood Autos. And now, for anybody who hasn't seen it, M7, he was the one who did, with Mass Bandit, they kind of did the No Name Landia Park. But he and his Nagali Park, I think he had like 7 episodes on the series a few years ago. did a track ride like this where you probably got some inspiration from, or maybe the real life version at Nagali Park, that he was the M7 was kind of recreating. So you've done an amazing job with this, and this looks so good having the the cars kind of run so close together like that with the track and stuff, and you've got the little slight elevation changes, and you got the little waterway there to the left. So that is so well done. Very impressive. And I like this little tunnel right here you go underneath. Like, I'll just go ahead and say this. I think best track ride, or best, not necessarily track ride in general, but best auto ride I have seen on console. Just really amazing job. The foliage is perfect. So well done. Absolutely love it. And the views you get kind of riding around of the park are just great. And it's tucked in the side to where I honestly, like, based on what we've seen so far, I totally forgot this was part of the park. Because I did keep up with his series and this on the channel, which I'm also going to link the series, his playlist and stuff in the video below if you want to check that out. But here we have the other station for the chairlift. And I believe we're getting around to the front of the park because we just have under 2 minutes left in the video. So this overall, this to me seems like a probably more budget-friendly park. Maybe family-owned, you know, something more along those lines, because we had, was it 6 coasters maybe? I'm trying to think now. Maybe it's 5 with the auto ride. But, you know, obviously you have the GCI and really nice locker system there. That looks really good. But you had the GCI, you had the B&M Invert, so those would be the top 2. And so now we're going to take a little bit look at the Backstage. But I think to me the GCI was my favorite, with the Invert slightly behind it. So yeah, I think those were both really, really well done. And so we see here you got a little Backstage area. So you got a little, this would probably be for staff. And then you've got a couple warehouses. So I'm really interested to see kind of what you do with your next park. And I wonder, so I didn't actually ask you this, did you create this on the older gen Xbox or newer gen? And if so, what percent did you use? And whatever you did to create that mulch right there just looks fantastic. As I said before, love this building. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure to go check out his channel, as the link is below. And hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.